What's going on, you know? We don't know nothing. So the important thing is you are here, you are here, you are here, you are here. Was bad, was bad. Yeah.
Right now.
They get you set up, but we don't know.
What about all the tracks?
took a shower this morning.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, William Hayes, W-I-L-L-I-A-M, Hayes, H-A-Y-E-S, Captain, Commanding Officer, Robbery Homicide Division. I also have with me Battalion Chief Mike Castillo, LAFD Arson, and Captain Cody Wire Eater, LAFD, a Public Information Officer. Okay. Hey, this morning around 6:55, Los Angeles Fire Department resources responded to a fire in the 3700 block of Cahuenga. During the process of extinguishing the fire and battling it, they discovered 4 victims inside. 2 of the victims were transported to local hospitals, where they're being treated for injuries received during the course in the fire. 2 individuals succumbed to injuries as related to the fire and are at scene. Currently, we're in the process of investigating this. We work in conjunction with LAFD Arson and Robbery Homicide Division to determine the cause and origin of the fire, or whenever there's any fatalities with a fire. At this point in time, we don't know the cause of the fire, but we will investigate it, which will probably take several days to determine. At this point in time, we can answer some questions for you, but as it is early in the investigation, we don't have a lot of answers, so I may not be able to provide you with much information, so bear with me on that factor.
Any reason to believe that anything nefarious took place here at this time?
At this point in time, as we're saying, it's early on, and we have a fire, or we have 4 individuals, 2 of which succumbed to the fire, and 2 which are being treated as a result of injuries. So we obviously take it very seriously, and we want to look at it. But as to determining the exact cause, I can't answer that. So anything would be premature.
So you don't know if it's intentionally said or if there was any...
That's correct. We have a fire and we have fatalities, so we're trying to put that together.
Point of origin?
We have 4 total that were injured as a result of the fire. There are other people that came up and asked for treatment, from what I understand, but not related to the fire, to our knowledge.
4 total, so you mean 2 dead and 2 injured? 4
That's
total.
correct. That's the 4 total.
2 others are unrelated to the fire.
That's
Do you
correct.
have a point of origin at all?
Obviously, it's inside the studio, but we're working closely with LAFD Arson to determine that at this point in time. As this started at 7 o'clock, the fire was extinguished, we found the bodies. It's going to take a while before we get there, and we have the coroner responding as well.
Captain, just clarify, because the fire department initially had said you have 2 dead, 2 critical, 2 others taken to the hospital, 2 others with injuries. Were those people that were they outside the building, or these people really fire-related injuries, like smoke inhalation?
No, they're not related to the fire. So you have a total of 2 deceased. At this point in time, I can tell you I have a male that's deceased and a female deceased. Obviously, because of the fire, I can't give you much more information as to that. I have a male and a female that are transported for injuries. Those 2 individuals are being treated at both obviously critical condition as a result of.
Who are the renters of that particular recording studio?
It's multiple rooms, so I don't know who the renters are, to be honest with you. It's a recording studio that works 24 hours a day. There's several individual rooms in them where recordings take place, so there's different groups in each one of those rooms. So to answer that question, I can't give you a specific answer.
Can you let us know about code violations? So we're hearing there's a lot of electrical equipment, no windows, some fire extinguishers. Can anyone speak to that at all, about what it looked like inside?
I would gladly let LAFD Arson, but again, this is the preliminary investigation, so what you're asking for, I believe, is something that will come out at the conclusion of an investigation rather than the beginning. Anything speaking to that would appear to be premature.
Were there smoke alarms going off when the firefighters responded?
I would have to...
Last question.
Where were the bodies
Mr. Castillo?
Where were the bodies found? In the front?
Inside the building, I'm not going to give you any more details than that at this point in time until we clarify.
Captain, just quickly, was there any other evidence of anything other than a fire here? Was there a shooting or anything of that nature? Do we know?
Nothing at this point in time. We have a fire.
How many people were inside?
Approximately a dozen. And I say approximately because as that's what we're looking at. There may have been more, may have been less, but a dozen is a good round figure. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Quick question, just for all of us for later. Will there be a set time for a possible follow-up before 6 o'clock if there's more updated info?
I can guarantee you that there won't be any follow-up today. Okay. Arson and homicide investigations are very lengthy, and when it's a fire that's involved, it's particularly more difficult. So we have to do analysis of stuff. So you're not going to get anything more for probably another 24 hours.
And one other really quick one. There was some folks earlier today who said that they claimed that they saw somebody pull up here in a black Mercedes and throw something in the building. Are you guys aware of any of that, or are you looking into that as a possible?
We're looking into everything at this point in time. There are witnesses that are reporting information, and part of this process is interviewing those witnesses. And I don't want to comment on the results of those because it is premature. Like I said, at 7 o'clock this morning, the fire's extinguished. Shortly thereafter, I'm just getting resources as well as LAFD Arson personnel on scene, and we've got to go through the entire process. So all of that is collected, evaluated, and then we determine where we go from there. So answering your questions is extremely difficult at this point in time, and that's why I said at the very beginning, I can't give you answers to a lot of the questions, and we really won't have much more in terms of results for at least 24 hours, because coroner has to look at the bodies, give us cause of death. We have to start looking at the cause of the fire. So I'd ask you to be patient with all of us. I will go through media relations and put up any media releases through them as the investigation goes forward, but realistically nothing through until Monday. Okay?
We're looking at adults, right, for the victims?
I believe so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for your patience.
Can you give approximate ages?
Okay. Let me make a correction on it. There's 2 deceased males. One male that was transported and one female that was transported as well. Okay? I apologize for the error. As I said, it's early on in the investigation. So 2 males deceased, and the bodies are still at the scene, and we're processing that. And then a male and a female that were transported to local hospitals in critical condition.
All adults.
They appear to be. Again, and given the nature of fire and what happens to the bodies, it's difficult for us to tell, and those that are being treated, the first responsibility is get them medical care, and we'll determine those things as we go on. Okay? Thank you very much.
Conditions of the ones that were transported?
I said critical.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.